Yeah, this has been a mother freaking day, man. I tell you, this is this has been a day. Welcome to the Just to Be Frank podcast. Your boy Frank Starfire. Sean Wallace, my guest as usual. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? And you know why that is? Because he's consistent. and he comes, he shows up.
It's the only way. It's the only way to succeed.
That's what I think. You know, showing up is half the freaking battle. So keep that in mind for future reference. You know what I mean? But what's good, brother?
Hey, I'm well rested for once. I'm ready to roll. Ready to roll.
I am not well rested, or I got a headache the size of Montana because I recently switched to decaf. So
did my wife. Which I mean I've learned that there's no real difference to it.
There is. I don't care what you don't know coffee. And you're wrong. You are wrong. You're wrong. You are wrong. Completely and utterly. You're wrong. There is a definitive difference.
You coffee addicts really got to get your shit together, okay? It doesn't do anything.
All right, whatever, man. Listen,
I drink it merely for the enjoyment. It does not rejuvenate me. It does not keep me awake. It doesn't do anything. It actually just tastes good.
Coffee keeps me from having headaches because right now I have a humdinger of a headache. I drank decaf this morning, and I drank a whole pot of it, and it did nothing for me all day. I felt sluggish. I felt off. My brain was foggy, and in order to get rid of the headache, I'm drinking coffee. Like if you look at Excedrin, the main ingredient is caffeine. You know
why did you switch to decaf? Is the question.
Well, because in a couple of weeks' time, I will be going to try ayahuasca. And because of that, you need to have sort of a cleaned out system, and caffeine is on the list of things you can't consume within that period prior to taking the medicine.
Is that some like trippy?
Yes.
Trippy event.
Yes. It's a psychedelic experience. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little trepidatious. I'm a little scared, but at the same time, I'm excited. Because I'll be 41 next week, right? And as I've gotten older, I've just been open to trying new things. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's I think staying stagnant in, this is who I am, this is what I do, leaves you exactly that, stagnant. You know what I'm saying? You don't push forward if you don't try new things. You know what I'm saying? And some of the new things I'm trying happens to be psychedelics. And I personally am a huge proponent for it. Now, weirdly enough, and the story of how I got on coffee is interesting. Do you remember when we were in 72 and we went to that, like, I want to say it was maybe like somewhere out on the island or upstate New York or something. It was like a fun-filled day at this like ill resort camp type thing. You know what I'm saying? We had a scavenger hunt and all that shit. And I don't know if you remember, but I had a baton. And I was running, and somebody was chasing me down, and I was not letting go of this baton. I slammed into a bus to protect that thing. I believe we won, but I definitely got slammed into a bus that day. But
I do remember that.
That was the day my coffee addiction started, because I saw Carlene Findlay over, and it was at the lunch in that big brunch area. It was like a buffet brunch breakfast type thing. And she was over there having coffee. And and for the longest time, I thought Carlene hated my motherfucking guts. She might have. I don't know. Back then, I don't know.
She surprisingly loves everybody.
I know. She's such a sweetheart. Carlene, shout out to you, man. But
she's just so beautiful and intimidating that you.
Yeah, like
She hates you, but no, she actually likes everybody.
Right. And to my, I guess I was 12, 13 at the time. I didn't know shit. But I saw her over there making coffee. So I sauntered over and made myself a cup of coffee. I damn sure lied. I was like, yeah, I drink coffee all the time. I ain't never had a cup of coffee in my life to that point. But from that day forward, I had a cup of coffee every day.
Nah, y'all, I would never drink coffee because of the way people reacted and acted that drank coffee. Because they acted like they can't think, they can't act, they can't do nothing without coffee. And I'm like, yo, why would you welcome that into your life? I'm not drinking coffee.
It's weird.
It didn't even appeal to me at all.
It's weird because it's true. You're like I said, all day my brain was foggy. I couldn't focus. I couldn't stay awake. Like I felt like I just felt completely off kilter. And I like a good strong cup of coffee. I drink Bustelo. I drink it black. I don't put sugar and cream in my coffee. I drink it black. I don't drink iced coffee because I think that's a waste of coffee and it's stupid. I want my coffee hot like the devil's asshole. I want my coffee hot. Damn it!
I don't understand people that put stuff in their coffee. Like, do you like coffee or not?
That's my yeah.
More importantly, I like drinking teas.
Yeah,
and I don't put anything in my teas. I don't know. I don't like people that put fucking milk and sugar, especially sugar. Well, don't put sugar in tea.
No, I'll put honey. If I drink tea, I'll put honey in it. But
that's an organic mix. That's cool.
You can even put honey in coffee. It actually, it's a good coffee thing. Like it's great for energy, and for some reason, I don't know why it keeps you kind of strong, like warm and shit. If you put a little bit of like olive oil or like a little bit of butter in your coffee, it's a weird thing with a little bit of honey and yeah, man, and a little bit of creamer. It's like it binds to your body better. It gives you a boost of energy too. Like it's crazy.
That's crazy. like a little dab. All right, baby.
Huh?
Maybe like a dab of
olive. No, I'm not talking about you ain't gonna put a whole half a pat of butter in there. No, I'm talking about like just a little half a teaspoon, boop, right in there, mix it up. You know what I mean? Add something to the flavor.
I'm like you. I need my shit black. It's just I don't need my coffee distorted in any way.
No, I want to taste the coffee.
It's rough. It's rough. It's rough on you, but whatever. I don't know. It's coffee. That's what it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to hurt a little bit.
Yeah. It's not supposed to taste like juice.
So in essence, Carlene Finley got me addicted to coffee. It was all Carlene's fault. That's the narrative I'm going with. It's Carlene's fault.
And then you thank her and keep it moving.
I do. Right now, I'm cursing her name because I can't drink it. But I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm being deceived. But no, it's weird, man. Like, we don't. I don't know. Like, addiction is an ill thing. Like, I smoked cigarettes for years. I smoked pot for years, drank coffee for years. You know what I'm saying? I was addicted to sugary foods and bad dietary choices, and you know what I'm saying. I've been addicted to. I've never been addicted to like cocaine, crack, heroin, PCP, meth, or anything like that. Thank the gods of man. But because in all honesty, in fairness, I've never had, they say weed is a gateway drug. Well, I never wanted to open that gate at all. Like, I don't really want to try anything else. And then now the flip side of that, of course, is going to be, well, you're trying psychedelics now. Yes, but it's still plant-based. It's still plant-based medicine. It's not the same thing. Like if you did what the Indians do with cocaine leaves and they just kind of chew them, you would get that effect. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you don't have to refine it to make a powder out of it to snort it up your nose. You don't have to do that. That's when it becomes a drug.
Okay, the processing aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the whole the addiction thing. Like, I don't know if you want to say it's media or word of mouth, or you just seeing things the way they are. But the negative stigmas with some addictions like crack and all these illicit drugs, they they have deterred me from that specific thing. But when you realize you're like an addiction is something that it comes with consistency, something that you just always do. um sugar was a huge addiction. I had no idea how addicted or how dangerous, what I'm saying, it got. But when I went on like a water diet or whatever, like it was straight drunk water, in the I don't know, I started catching like chills, like my body just acting weird because it's like, yo, where is the sugar?
Where's the
Yeah,
sugar, man? Where's the sugar, man?
something, and it's like everything. Like sugar is in it's in large quantities of everything.
Everything. And not
Yeah,
only
so once you get out, like, oh man, you start realizing, I have. You think you're not a. I thought that I didn't have an addictive personality, like I just don't get addicted to stuff.
right.
But no, we all have our vices and our addictions that you have to curb, or just kind of like see what it's like without it.
And sometimes that's hard. And I work in a place where I deal with like food all the time. So and I probably shouldn't do this, but I tell people all the time, like, hey, listen, if you wouldn't drink bleach, why would you eat it? And then they'd be like, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Well, you've got bleached sugar, you've got bleached rice, you've got bleached bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're eating all of this bleach, you know what I'm saying? And it says in the ingredients, bleached wheat. You know what I'm saying? Or, so it kind of tells you, so why do you think it's healthy for you to eat it? You know?
Uh, yeah, kill. I mean, people kill me with the whole healthy stuff. We none of us are healthy.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a paragon of health. I'm a
Even if you are
husky.
healthy, you are still going to die.
Yes. Yes, you
So
are. But you will live exponentially longer if you eat right.
that's not true. Why do y'all keep saying that? That's not true.
It's the truth. If you fill your body with the right proper nutrients intake and vitamin intake and sustenance intake, you will live longer. You know what I mean? The truth is, if you ate, look, I could never be a vegan because I want to eat meat. I got teeth, damn it. I want to use them. But I do know that I would probably benefit from learning how to hunt and eating nothing but wild game. I know that growing your own fruits and vegetables is probably safer than the monocrop agriculture that we do in this country and where we get most of our supplies. A strawberry should not be this big. I don't care how good of a strawberry grower you are, your strawberry should never be this freaking huge. Strawberries would be like it, like that. You know what I'm saying? So what are you doing to the food that's causing it to be a gargantuan specimen that people are then consuming? Well, obviously you're filling it with something you shouldn't, or you're putting something in it or on it that you shouldn't, because you know what I mean? So eating healthier is a better option. Problem is, it's also more expensive.
And harder to come by. Like,
It's not so much that it's harder to come by, it's just a lot of stuff they label as healthy is not. If you have one organic ingredient in your food, you organic.
The labels. Oh my God, everything has keto on it.
Yeah, which makes, I don't know what that is. I know we go into ketosis, and I know I'm familiar with that, but if you look at what the FDA allows to be in your food, We're the only country that allows certain products to be in the food. Red 40, yellow Lake 5. You know what I'm saying? These are carcinogenic things. You know what I mean? Caramel color. These things are all carcinogens. Fluoride. You know, in every other country, developed country in the world, most, if not all, of these substances are banned. You can't put them in the food. That's why if you read an ingredients list on, let's say, a bag of Doritos in the UK, or, you know what I mean, it has maybe 4 or 5 ingredients, whereas the ingredient list here has 37 freaking ingredients.
So what purpose does the FDA serve?
The FDA serves absolutely no purpose, but they line their pockets all the same. That's it. Food and Drug Administration.
I don't get why we mention them, why we worry about them.
What I'm saying, okay, my point in that is saying, my point of vilifying the FDA is for people to try and understand that what you put in your body as deemed by the Food and Drug Administration, which is funded by the government, is actively allowing stuff in your food that is killing you. That's my point. So
I don't get it. That's it. All this stuff has to get reworked, torn down. I watched a video of Kamala Harris explaining AI to people. I don't know. I hope it was children. But she explained AI to people. It's a machine and it's learning. It's learning. I cut it off. What the fuck? Are you trying to show people that you are like smart, that you invented AI?
Oh, lady, that's the case.
Why is the lady explaining AI to anybody?
So, all right. So here's the thing I have about.
They're trying to show. It's like they're trying to keep up this idea that we're the smart ones. We know what's best. Y'all are as dumb as rocks. You don't know anything. You only know what we've already delivered to you. We have all the information that these politicians and all the information that they deliver, that they spit back to us, the stuff that we've given to them. I don't get it.
To hear our thoughts, to hear our expanded thoughts on AI, check this one of the latest episodes. The link will be right here. Go and check that out. It's funny because she does sound stupid at times when she be talking about shit, and I don't think she's an unintelligent person.
All right, I'll give it a shot. I could do it. Yeah, I could do it. No, just don't do it.
Kamala Harris is going to go down in history as probably the worst vice president in history. And that's not a good look for a sister.
She's going to go down.
You got to do better, lady.
She's going to go down as the worst.
We expect more of you in the Black community than for you to just pitter-patter around and do nothing. We expect you to do shit.
Did we though?
I don't know. Listen, obviously
for any politician ever.
You know, it's funny. There are some politicians that I think are not bad folk. I just think that they're politicians, so their natural state of being is bullshit artists. So it is. I think
100%.
Yeah, I think politics by its very nature is
keeping themselves busy.
Yeah, like we act like we're doing something and
act like
get some stuff done. But
telling people what to do. Here, like having these little like even local politics, they like having these meetings and hearing the people out only for them to not do anything. I don't get it.
Nor do I. And I think it boils down to the people who run for office, and the people who are in office are more often than not little old, little out of touch, a little bit. They're too segmented and fractured by their ideologies to be able to approach things with an open mind. That's what.
But their power comes from the idea that they were voted into this position.
Sure.
So if you don't vote for these people, like if at election day or whatever, it says 0 votes.
I mean,
what would happen? Like,
what happens? I don't know. That's a good question, because I often wonder, and I say this about working for a living, like, what would your employer do if just nobody showed up? You know what I'm saying? What would you do? What would the government do if every person in America just said, we're not paying taxes this year, screw it. Like, we're done. We're not paying you all until you fix X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? What would they do?
We don't pay tax. Like, we don't pay taxes. They take it.
Well, you don't have to let them take it. Technically, you can make it so that you don't have money coming out of your paycheck every whatever.
That's true.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the year, you would have to pay.
They've actually given us the power, or the power is in our hands to just actually go do that ourselves. Like before, you had to fill out the paperwork like once a year or whatever when you first. Now you can just flip that whenever you want.
Exactly. So, but what would the IRS do if every American citizen who was supposed to pay taxes just said, nah?
What would happen? What would we do?
You know what I'm saying? Black, white, that'd be the one thing that binds us all together. Black, white, Asian, Jamaican, Spanish, Scottish, whatever. If we all just said, nah, we ain't paying no taxes this year till y'all figure y'all shit out.
That's the thing, is that they got us under the impression that if we don't do this stuff, everything is gonna crumble. We're not gonna be able to sustain ourselves.
That's not true, because
I know that's not true, but this is the mind game that's been played upon us, is that we as a people would crumble without them.
I think we the people would do just fine without them.
Eat bad food. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they. I would love to put them like seriously on blast. Like, all right, seriously show me. Seriously show me what it is that you do. Stop. Let the government stop doing what it's doing for, I don't know, a year. And see what happens.
See what happens, And listen, I'm all for the anarchy and chaos. Let's just not fund the government. Now, with that, of course, we would not have probably fire departments or police. So please don't set your house on fire and don't commit crime. It'll be the purge, basically.
What crime? They set the rules on what crime is. What is crime?
Right. But if there's nobody there to enforce the rules because they're not being paid by our tax dollars, is it really a crime at that point?
What is a crime?
What is a crime?
What is a crime?
What is a crime? Listen, I genuinely believe there are only 3 types of crime. Cold-blooded murder, in which you have premeditated and determined that you are going to murder somebody and take them off the face of this earth. And then crimes against women and children. Everything else is kind of, just subjective to me. I don't really give a shit.
Or abuse against women and children. Yeah.
Any crime against women or children. And I mean like major crimes. You know what I'm saying? Like rape.
You can identify what abuse is. Abuse is.
Yeah, no, abuse is abuse. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's. Yeah, and that goes in line with that. Like, if you harm a woman or child, you should go to prison. If you have cold-bloodedly murdered somebody because of some stupid reason that you fabricated in your head, then you should go to prison. But if you're selling drugs, get that man a pharmacist license and let him open a shop. Like, do you know they used to prescribe or diagnose women with hysteria, right? So your wife would be like basically horny, and they would send your hysterical wife to the doctor. He would masturbate her with some device in his office and then send her home, and she's no longer hysterical. That's a genuine former medical practice. So
I was born too late. I'd have been
you know
adopted.
what I'm saying? Like, go to right thing, go to not even a gynecologist, regular practitioner. Like, yeah, on there, yeah. Wow, you good? You bust that nut yet? All right, you good? Get the fuck out. Like, what?
That man is a pro.
The pro. And he had the world's first dildo. You know what I'm saying? So let it be known he's all right. You know what I mean? But that's something that people used to do. They used to prescribe cocaine for medicinal purposes. Like, this is a real thing. This was history. So,
I mean, you come on, look at you know what they did with marijuana.
William Randolph Hearst
made it the most dangerous drug. Why?
Yep.
Because it's gonna bring people together.
And some of the ads were simply things like, do you want the Mexicans bringing their marijuana to have sex with your wife? If you don't want the Mexicans to have sex with your wife while getting them hooked on marijuana, vote no.
Was it really called marijuana, or did they name it marijuana?
They used they instead of using cannabis, they used marijuana to try and kind of proliferate that to be as Mexicans coming to steal your wife, basically. So so marijuana is a slur, technically.
Basically, yeah, sounds right. Sounds about right.
History is some shit. History is some shit, man. And
history is bullshit.
Well, speaking of history, that's why I sent you that article about what they just did in Florida. So in the great Commonwealth of Florida, I say that sarcastically, you have to know that. In the great Commonwealth of Florida, the school board there has decided that, yeah, they'll teach Black history, but they're going to teach about the benefits of slavery. And they're also going to talk about not only the acts of violence and everything that happened against slaves, but the things that the slaves did in retaliation or to get away, as if it's, you know, like it was a benefit to the Black culture of today that we went through slavery. So basically they're trying to say, and this is according to what I read in Axios and on I want to say the Associated Press. So basically they're saying that, hey, slavery was all right. You came up from it. Good on you. That's what they're saying.
They're using it as a uplifting for.
Yeah. Now this is in Florida where they live with dinosaurs. So I don't know if I want to say that they're not stupid. You know, they live with dinosaurs. Like that's a weird thing to me. Like Florida's one of those places they'd be like, oh, you want to visit Miami? No, not really. I'm okay. I'm good. Not on my list.
I love Miami.
I bet. It looks nice. It looked pretty until I try and get in the Gulf of Mexico and oil from one of their many oil rigs in there sends oil down my throat, or an alligator eats me. Like
I'm not in Miami for that. I'm in Miami for one reason and one reason only.
You know, it's funny. I used to work for Ricky's in New York, and they had a Ricky's right there on Miami Beach. And if I'd have thought better of it, I might have transferred there but you know, that was before I knew how crazy Miami was. So before I knew how crazy Florida was. Now my boy Space and Jason, he's in Florida. He loves it, but I think he's in like Tallahassee or something. You know, he's in the middle. You know,
he's in the trenches.
Yeah. before, but that's to me that's back to the article and back to what they're doing with history. That's they want to speak on how critical race theory is being taught. That's not being taught anywhere but in like high level colleges. It's not being taught in high school. It's not being taught in elementary school. What they are teaching is actual history. Like how many people know that Washington D.C. was built and was designed and built by Black Freemasons? I think I'm right on that. If I had somebody here to Google that, I would Google that. I'm not going to do it right now, but in the comments, please fact check me. I don't know shit. But not many people know that Black people built the White House. So not many people know of the history of this country. Not, and not just about Black history. I mean, just history in general. A lot of people don't know history because the history, like, think about it. Our history textbook was like yay big. We read about that much of it. You know what I'm saying? So were we really getting a great history lesson in all actuality? No. That's why I stole the history textbook, took it home, smoked weed, and read the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, history doesn't have a great track record. Let's just say that. Like you're not getting all the information. There's some people that figure things out, like the things that we were taught, things that we teach our children. It's subjective. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who came up with this, with the itinerary for learning American history to our kids, but it's very minimal. Like to the point where you don't like why are we even wasting our time talking about this? I do respect what history, what you if you try to learn your history, I respect it and everything like that. But if you're not getting all the information, or you're not getting accurate information, why are we really going back into that kind of stuff? We should be focused on progression.
Sure. The oldest adage in that regard is if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Problem with that theory is, or at least an issue that I have with that theory is, history is usually written by the winners. So you get a very one-sided, jaded view of that history. It's not until you can delve deeper into, the survivors' stories as well, and people who went through it, that you can see, oh, maybe we weren't always on the right side of history. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it is very subjective. I think history should be taught, but if you're going to teach history, you should teach all history. Don't just teach the parts that you handpick and sugarcoat to make you seem like the hero. Teach it all. Good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. Teach it all. But I also feel like we should have learned practical life skills in school, such as how to apply for a loan, what your credit is, how to, things like that actually matter. Like, in all honesty and fairness, I will be 41 August 6th, and I have never once in my life had to solve for X. I've never had to use Pythagorean's theorem.
You have.
Forever.
You have, just not in that literal sense, but in a way, yeah, you have.
No, I honestly can say
listen, all of math is very important.
Is it really? Can you add? Can you subtract? Can you multiply? I don't even got to divide, honestly. I'm not really good at that. But do you really need the normal simple techniques are the ones you need. After that, unless you are trying to be a rocket scientist or some type of theoretical physicist, do you really need that much math?
I mean, it depends. I mean, the thing is that with X could be anything. These X and Y's and you can those variables you can apply to anything. So if you are going to use one variable to add to another variable to equal into something else, I mean, there's different aspects of your life where those things do come into play. You just don't we just don't deal with them in the way that we were sat in class and talked about it. It didn't it
All
would
right.
make it.
I can't for the life of me tell you when I have ever had to try and use that formulaic equation in
Like
my actual life.
like algebra is not a part of your life.
No, no. I think I have purposely shunned algebra to be out of my life for that specific reason. Because I don't.
But I think like carpentry, a lot
Yeah.
of that stuff, like you gotta know math. You gotta know your numbers. You gotta know your numbers. You gotta go that stuff applies, I think, in that aspect. I don't know about uh yeah, I think carpentry for the most part has the most math.
Maybe, yeah, that sheet metal work. Like if you're a tradesman, sure.
Oh yeah, I cut sheet cut steel or whatever, and yes, mad math involved. I felt like a complete idiot. I can't even. I was like, I really can't do this. I don't know. I don't know how to get to these numbers. Like I just don't know.
What was that math teacher? What was her name, man? Miss something. I forget her name. I hated her so much because she was a math teacher. Uh,
Don't y'all keep talking about my aunt, and I keep telling y'all stop doing that.
your aunt.
My
Who was your aunt?
my aunt was a math teacher in '72, and all y'all kids, yeah, all y'all can
Was
talk
she
about.
really? Yo,
Yes,
I did not know that.
Miss Modesto is my
Oh,
aunt.
that's so.
Yes,
Yeah,
told y'all
I
repeatedly. I
did not
told
know that.
you, she is a lovely, lovely lady.
All right, but it
Lovely.
wasn't Miss Modesto I was talking about.
Oh,
And
yeah, cool.
not for nothing. To yo, I don't. Hey, look, I don't know nobody that talk bad about Miss Modesto, and
Oh, okay.
there's a couple of reasons for that.
I get sensitive. I'm sorry.
No, Miss Modesto was cool. I had no problem with her because she tried to make math fun, and all right, your auntie was kind of bad, so. I had a crush on her. I didn't know that. I had a huge crush on her. Yo, I did not
Yeah,
know that was your aunt.
man, yeah. Like too way too little. Like not my biological aunt. So that's all right. So realistically, that's my father's best friend's wife.
Okay, well, do you, do
And
you,
I grew up around her since I was like
do you still speak to her or see her?
I haven't seen them in years, but it does, they're like family. So it's like
Okay.
when
If
when
you
we see each other, it's all love.
if you get a chance, you tell her I said hi.
I'm, I'm gonna let that. I'm gonna let. I gotta let because I'm cool. Like I'm still cool with her sons and stuff. So I'm like actually link them up,
That's
link them up to this podcast and make sure that she sees this. Yes, definitely.
I think I was talking. I'm more talking about who was the
Yeah, she was never actually my math teacher. I think she did ninth grade. I don't know who the math teachers were. I don't remember any of these teachers.
Shit, I cannot think of her name. Miss. She also had a homeroom. I was an 8-2, that's 9-2, and all that shit. So she was like our homeroom teacher, but I do not remember her name for the life of me. But I do remember her snidely saying, "Well, you have to learn this because you're not gonna have a calculator in your pocket when you get older and all this." Yeah, bitch. Word. Word. I'm not. I'm not. This has scientific formulas on it too. I don't even need your damn Texas Instruments calculator. Fuck you.
You know
Like,
math. Hey, you need math to learn how to make that thing in your pocket.
you do, yeah. You may very well, but I'm not making it, so I don't need it. I ain't designing nobody's cell phone. That does not equate in my life. The most math I have to do is trying to figure out prices. And you know what? That's simple addition and subtraction. Maybe a little multiplication. I can even do a little long division, but I can never show you the work. It's crazy. I never ever could show the work of how I got to the answer. For some reason, like it just does not translate on paper to write it out how I got to an equation's answer. I just don't understand how to put it to where it makes sense.
Math was never hard to me because all you had to do was know the formula. Once you know the formula, you can do any equation 100 times.
Well, I was getting my ass whooped a lot at home.
If you figure out how to get from point A to point B, no matter what the variants are, it's gonna end up the same way. You can figure it out. If you know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, if you know the formula to something, you can figure it out very easily. No matter how many ways they tried to figure it out or distort it, it's all the same.
I remember Mr. Bernard.
And I only figured that out from individual learning. Somebody actually taught me that.
I remember Mr. Bernard trying to teach us fractions. Multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom.
I don't want to send my kid to school. I don't want to send my kid to school. I want them to be homeschooled or an individual tutor, an individual teacher.
I'll tell you what. I am a proponent of homeschooling. I think homeschooling up to a certain point is a good thing. My stepkids were homeschooled. The older two were homeschooled for years. Now they're in regular public school, but both of them are in gifted programs. Both of them are in higher accelerated classes and all that. And I do believe it comes from the homeschooling because they were able to learn in an environment that was conducive to actual learning as opposed to what we got in public school, which probably was not. Most definitely was not.
It was sociology.
Miss Walker. Miss Walker, that was her name. That was the teacher. Flipping bitch. But I'm sorry, Miss Walker. Shout out to you. I hope you're still alive and teaching, lady.
I thought you were a feminist. Don't use that word.
I know. I am, but that don't mean I can't call a freaking spade a spade. That damn it, I mean you ain't gonna censor my language.
Yeah, I admit that shit.
Only because she was a math teacher, and that was like the only class I was never good in. And honestly, it's because I was getting my ass whipped at home a lot. So it wasn't like I could study in peace. It wasn't like I could do anything in peace. I was, I just didn't have the wherewithal to want to actually sit there and study and learn things because I was more worried about not getting my ass whooped for no damn reason. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't care about school. I was good at it for the most part, but not really. Because I was lazy. I didn't want to study. I didn't have to study for the most part, but I definitely wasn't going to if I didn't need to. I barely did. I didn't do homework since like the third grade. Stop doing that.
I never did homework. I never went home and did work. I did it there.
That's unpaid overtime. Like you're not getting that out of me.
I was always behind because I was doing yesterday's work today. It's always behind.
Yo, these kids, they don't ever seem to have homework, and when they do, it'd be like, "Yeah, we're done. Yeah, I already did it. I did it in class." Like, what the?
Yeah, my daughter did her homework in school. Or we like during the week. I had her over the weekend, so we would do it. We would do it together. But during the week, she did all her homework in school.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
wait, you actually have a daughter?
My daughter turned 19 today.
Oh, happy birthday, young lady.
19 years old. Yes, I've had a daughter for 19 years, my friend.
Woo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's why you moved to a state where you can buy guns readily. All right, I see it. I get it.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna hopefully use that to lure her over here. Come over here and let's shoot some guns.
It's a good
Let's shoot some-
pastime. I ain't got no problem with that. It's a good pastime. But yo, man, like, but the education system in this country is fucked because mainly a lot of it has to do with the fact that we don't teach things uniformly. So you learn certain things, like like them, the example of Florida, like we're talking about. Florida teaches things one way. Texas teaches things one way. Alabama teaches one way. New York teaches one way. California teaches one way. What is wrong with you all? That's stupid. Everybody should have the same curriculum across the board so we all have access to the same information. This way, it's not like, oh, I lived in Texas, well, this, and I didn't know XYZ about X ABC. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a good enough excuse. They didn't teach it to you. I mean, I get it, that's fair, but why are they teaching you differently than what everybody else has learned? That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's called creating the haves and the have-nots. And
sure.
You know, the more that I know, the less that we're not supposed to be equals. This country does not want everybody to be the same.
No.
They want you to work, supposedly work harder to get further.
I call bullshit on that. And the reason I say that is because public school was designed to turn out factory workers. So it was not designed for higher education. That in it, huh?
I agree.
That in and of itself is a problem. And that's not to say that anybody who works in a factory is not intelligent. Because I guarantee you ask them anything about the factory they work in, they can tell you everything about the factory they work in. Hands down. Probably, throughout history. And that's fair. But
you know, when you worried that you're as a worker, you're worried about providing for your family. You're not worried about being the brightest person in the room.
right.
You're just worried about putting food on your table. You know what I'm saying? You're worried about having a bed for your children to rest on. That's all. You're working to provide for your family. You're not trying to take over the world or have a fucking you're not trying to do all this capitalistic BS. You're just trying to maintain.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. That's what you do in public school. You're just trying to get to the next level. You're just trying to, they put this these deadlines or these objectives in front of us, and we're just trying to complete those so we can get to the next part, so we can continue on with our lives and continue our vices and blah blah blah.
Yeah. And hey, you know what? That's fair, but it doesn't really lead to a very well-informed society. And I think that we're seeing that play out now with this schism along the political spectrum of everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything is polarized, and I say it kind of often to people, when I'm talking to people, it's like, was a time when it didn't matter who you voted for, who I voted for. If your guy won, it was man, well, we'll get him next time. Good luck to your guy. I hope he does well. Now it's, they stole the election. They did this. They did that. They're doing this. For what? For what? For what? Why are we polarizing this in a way like, no, just shake the dust off, get a good candidate, and come back the next time and whoop that ass. That's what you're supposed to do. And again, I always say this: how is it that we have a country of 800 million people and there's only 2 good ways to run shit? Makes no sense.
world, this country's getting, well, not this country. Yeah, this country's getting soft. Country is soft as hell.
Country been
Everybody is real. Everybody's too damn sensitive, and you can't take losses. There's always got to be an excuse. It's
yeah.
getting bad. Like it's getting bad to this point where you feel like at our age, like man, have we gone too far? Like are we past the point of understanding? Does this world not do we not see this world the way we're supposed to anymore? Because I don't think I do.
You know what? I don't think we do, and I think it comes, huh?
Not that I care. Like I understand that. I understand that this is a lot of bullshit that we have to that we are exposed to that doesn't really matter.
True.
None of the stuff that people are complaining about from politics and all that stuff. None of that stuff matters. If you have a like a sense of self, like you know what's best for you, you know what's best for your children, and you know that there's a better way as opposed to what they have established for us.
True. Very true.
Like education. So these people are now trying to sell slavery in a more
Positive
way.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you trying to pull me away from school? Because you're working. It's working.
Now,
Me and my wife have no desire to send our kid to school.
I don't blame. Is your wife pregnant?
Nah, not yet.
I was gonna say congratulations, but
Maybe.
you heard it here first, though. But no, it's
Well, we are, but but like we plan, we always plan on having kids. You gotta prepare for that kind of stuff when you get married and you be with somebody. That's the first thing everybody asks you. So when you're gonna pop out some kids, so these are the things that we just discussed, and it's like, yo, yeah, I don't know how excited I would be to send my kid to any kind of school today. And if you see the way that these schools are being run now, because there's like a lack of teachers, like kids ain't even learning nothing no more. They go in. It's really just a social experiment at this point.
But it always has been, though. And I think my lady is a fan of the Montessori method, which it's like a school where your kid basically, they don't teach themselves, but it allows the kid to gravitate towards what they naturally want to learn, as opposed to foisting this rigid curriculum on them. And I think that's something that is a good method, because if you want to learn something, you will learn about it. But if you're not interested in it, you tune out. You don't care. So I think that's probably a really good method of teaching. I think that's a good school environment, especially for kids who may be like massively, nowadays they call it ADHD or hyperactivity, but in essence, it's just kids have a lot of energy because kids have a lot of energy. They're freaking kids. And if your kid doesn't have a lot of energy, well, maybe feed them better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe change their diet. Maybe don't feed them cheese and milk all the time. Maybe don't give them a bunch of heavy garbage that you shouldn't be eating.
But that used to be a thing. Like, developing schools was high priority.
Yeah, not anymore.
Now it's developing prisons.
Yeah.
Schools and our schools are
a pipeline to that prison.
Preparing our kids for prison.
Yeah, and it's like almost all prisons in this country are for profit, and they have to maintain a certain level of filling to be profitable. So who makes up most of these prisons? Well, young Black people. You know what I'm saying? They make up 70% of the prison, over 70% of the prison population in the United States. 3% of the population in total, but we make up 70% of the population of prisons. So are you saying that Black people are inherently criminals? No. It's just it's a rigged system. And for people who don't understand that or can't see that and want to say, oh, it's a victim mentality. I'm not saying slavery is holding me back. I'm not saying that everywhere I look, there's racism. But what I am saying is that, yes, there are systems in place that are based in that ideology, and they don't help people. They hinder people. And whether you can see it or not, or want to see it or not, it's reality. And it's reality for a lot of people, whether you believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? And again, can that lead to a victim mentality? Sure. If you sit there and use that as an excuse for every little thing, like, yo, I can't do this because of this. I say I have, and I'm you know, when I said this, I was being facetious. I was joking, but I guess in a way I was kind of serious. I said, my girl, I remember when we first got together, she was like, yeah, I want to go kayaking. And I was like, hey, kayaking, Black people don't do that shit. And I was being facetious, but in my mind, I had never seen a Black person kayaking. So no, I did not think that was something that we actually did until like 2 weeks later, and I see my boy Randy fucking kayaking. So well, that threw that stereotype right out the freaking window. But
yeah, I did not. Yeah, it's just not ready available in our neighborhoods. But yeah, I found a place where I can go kayaking out here, and it's not bad at all. Not bad at all.
No, I enjoyed it. I got in the kayak and rode through the lake and all that, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
Upper body.
Huh?
It's a great upper body workout.
Oh, definitely. Anything to do with water is a great workout. But if you could sit there and just
to row, yeah. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it in your shoulders.
yeah,
stripping your back, stripping your upper back. Yeah, kayaking is the shit. I like
kayaking is good. Now, whitewater rafting and all that, I may not want to try it, but I'll try it at least once just to see if I like it.
Hey, if you're it's just like psychedelics. It's an experience. It's an experience.
Experience, right? And that's what my girl, she thinks I'm not adventurous, and I always say, no, I'm adventurous, but I also like to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like I'm
adventurous. What type?
Well, she, she likes to go hiking in the woods and hiking through, mountain trails and all that. Cool, no problem with that. But my girl like to do things like go into abandoned buildings and, condemned buildings and shit and go snoop around and I'm like, baby, you just did not see enough horror movies growing up to make you wary of that sort of shit. It's like
that those horror movies have conditioned you to not want to go
right. But here's the thing.
But horror movies are not reality. Like
no, they're not. But I will go in these. I don't mind doing it, but I like to be prepared. Can I have a good knife with me? Can I bring a flashlight? Do you mind if I have some fire just in case we run across me?
Without some defensive tool. Absolutely. Yeah, you should go. You should go into no situation without some type of tool.
This is what I'm saying. Always be prepared. You never know what might happen. A log could fall on you, and what am I do? I might have to saw it off you. But if I ain't got the saw with me, well, you're just screwed up, aren't you? So
it's probably like spontaneous adventures.
Yeah, she does like spontaneity, and I can admit to not being the most spontaneous human being. I can cop to that, no question. But I have my moments, I like most again, I'm Gen X. You know what I'm saying? I know motherfuckers want to lump me in with millennials and shit and all that, but nah, I'm Gen X. You know why? Because I was a latchkey kid. You know what I mean? And that shit, I'm walking through the hood as a kid, making my way through all sorts of neighborhoods and all sorts of activity and I was gregarious too. I like to talk to people. So I never had a problem or issue going through anywhere. Like, you know what though? There's still one place that I can say I have never actually like completely walked through, and that's 40 projects. I have never once in all of my years actually walked through 40 projects. I've been around it, I've been near it, but I ain't never had to actually go through it.
No disrespect to anybody over there, Shane.
No, not at all. Please, no disrespect to anybody in
You're
40p.
you're not missing nothing.
No, but it's just it was the stigma of it growing up. Like it was like, you know, that you don't go to 40p unless you're welcome or unless you know somebody. And I didn't really know nobody over there. So I didn't go.
Foolishness. Yo, let me ask you a question real quick. Do you believe that like people are out here sacrificing their bodies for the like sake of limelight and success?
Yes. Okay.
So
Short answer is yes. But what do you continue?
But because they just did this party in the Hamptons, I guess. Some all white party in the Hamptons.
It happens every year.
All of these high profile human beings, aka celebrities and athletes and affluent people attended this party. And I mean, the photos that I've seen, it was just very like I would not allow you to do that. And it's just like, so this the dude is like Michael Rubin or something, some billionaire that threw the party. And in the pictures, he has like a couple basketball players. Like he's here, somebody's here. He got his arm all the way over here, gripping somebody. Wild got his arm around somebody here, gripping them. Like, we don't know. Like, I don't know you. Like, there's no way this dude knows any of these dudes. Maybe he has aspirations to work with them or something like that. But for the most part, I wouldn't let you hold me like this, like that.
Keep your hands to yourself. But
it's like, yeah, why didn't y'all tell this dude that? What is going on here? And then the rapper, like Lil Baby, he is in all of these pictures and he just looks so sus. And it's like, but then you could look, I mean, some would say like, yo, all right, you're being like, you're taking this conspiracy theory way too far. Like you shouldn't, you don't have to associate him with being molested or anything like that, or taken advantage of or anything like that. They could just be having such a good time at this party with all these people that he just looked happy.
So,
but I don't know. I can't imagine like this dude. He looks so weird, so right. Suspect.
So I could not point Lil Baby to you in a lineup. But I will say that I think celebrity in general is probably one of the most addictive things out there. And I think that a lot of people will do almost anything to be hot, to maintain their heat and to be the next big thing. Okay? Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of people that will indeed sacrifice their morals and values in the name of celebrity. I think about Kim Kardashian and how whether it's true or not that her mom put out the sex tape and her mom kind of molded them to be these celebritards, you know what I mean? Whether that's the case or not.
Well, that was a fact. That's a fact. She did.
Okay.
Put that out.
Did she exploit her daughter to raise her own profile? If that's the case, then yeah, that's wrong. Okay. I don't think celebrity and fame is worth sacrificing your morals or values. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. There's no room that I could go into and somebody could offer me a deal, but they got to be like, well, you gotta suck my dick first. They're like,
No, who does like? Do you think
no.
people? Do you think people really do that?
I think there are people that really do that. I think what's the dude Harvey Weinstein made a living off of that. I'll put you in this movie, but you gotta let me fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he did that to a lot of people. So yeah, I know that happens. Huh?
Into
I would say some men probably got it too. Yeah, I would not be surprised at all. I don't know who it is. I don't know any of them. I'm not saying this is a genuine fact. All I'm saying is it is well known that Harvey Weinstein definitively did have the casting couch, as it were, in his office and definitely did abuse his power and yeah, he put a lot of those people in high profile films, no question. But was it worth it? Now, some would say, well, the only reason they told us because now they got buyer's remorse. Of course they fucking do. Of course they do. Because they damn sure fucking did something they probably shouldn't have done, and yet they got the accolades, they got all this, they got all that. But people change over time. Opinions change over time. Life changes over time. So yeah, you may look back on it and be like, oh, you know what? At the time I was desperate. I was this, I was that, cool. Whatever the case may be. Now I'm looking back on like, that was some repugnant shit. And you should be able to say that and not be vilified for it. You know what I mean? You should be able to change your mind. Yes, you already got all the accolades and everything, but at the same time,
like
what
this,
if you?
because this, all right, so there's certain people like this. Just I'm gonna use these two people as just as an example. I'm not saying that they did XYZ, but Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, two successful comedians on two different trajectories. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Kevin Hart is given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity.
Yeah.
Seized on them, capitalized off them, and is where he is today.
Yes.
Cat Williams, as gifted, if not more gifted, at comedy.
Subjective.
Was Icon.
Subjective, but go ahead.
Okay. Was probably offered opportunity after opportunity after opportunity and and turned them down for like morals and saying like, yo, I'm not doing that, or y'all not putting me in this position. I'm not accepting your deal for XYZ. I'm not compromising myself. He would say, I'm not compromising myself for your industry.
Right.
Would he then say like Kevin Hart got these opportunities because he did XYZ for X, like because he did some gay shit?
I don't
do some shit for the opportunities that he's constantly getting. Like, what happened to Kevin Hart? Did something happen to Kevin Hart, or did he really just is just that good? Seized on what he did.
I think
this is the biggest conspiracy to me, because it's like, yo, are you just talented, or if I'm talented at if I'm talented at what I'm doing, is that not going to be enough? Am I going to eventually have to one day make this decision to give myself?
I think Kevin Hart gets the opportunities he gets because Kevin Hart is willing to put himself out there as a comedian and as an actor to try different roles and try to do different shit. And he also seems like a really nice, pleasant guy. Cat Williams to me seems like he's a nice guy, but he might be a dick. And I think that's kind of all it is. I think that sometimes now, do I think that there are people who probably out there who have sacrificed their morals and values and character to get ahead? Yes. In this instance, I don't think either of them is on the path that either of them is on, and they're wrong for it. I think Kevin Hart is supposed to be as big as Kevin Hart is, and I think Cat Williams is as big as Cat Williams is. And that's taking nothing away from either of them because, like I said, they're both phenomenal comedians. You know what I'm saying? But I think Kevin Hart's brand of comedy and version of comedy and his style of comedy is more accessible to mainstream audiences than is Cat Williams. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. I think that's really all it is. Now, am I wrong? Who knows? But I don't think Kevin Hart did anything gay or whatever to get forward in his career. I think Kevin Hart is really talented and he's really a nice guy. And I think that really goes a long way. When you treat people with respect and you treat people with decency and kindness, it kind of takes you a little bit farther than, the vinegar aspect. You know what I mean? And again, Cat Williams does not seem like a bad person to me. I don't think he's a bad guy, but I do think he could be a bit abrasive. And, that might not be conducive to long-term value in that Holly weird space. Now,
here we go. What is Holly weird? What is that?
I call it Holly weird because again, that is a place that developed Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and any other number of weirdo people who did weirdo messed up things. But it also gave us great actors and actresses. You know what I'm saying? It gave us great directors. I don't, it's a weird place to be. I've been to California. It functions differently than does most other places.
I mean, people say that about New York. It's like this. It's a different.
If you listen, if you live in Pittsburgh, you can tell the difference between being in New York and being in Pittsburgh. I live in the Poconos. You can tell the difference between being in New York and being in the Poconos. You know what I'm saying? There is a difference between the lifestyle, the movement speed. Everything is vastly different.
Yeah, because again,
doesn't make it any better or worse. It's just different. I imagine the people who live in Bayou Batre, Louisiana live different. I imagine the people who live in Austin, Texas live different. Imagine people that live in bumfuck Iowa, I'm sure that's not a real place, but you know what I mean, live different. You know what I'm saying? So, no, Hollyweird, but Hollyweird is its own microcosm of weird shit. Because actors, by their very nature, are weird people. They are. And I want, I would love to get a role and try my hand at acting. I would love to. Voiceovers mostly, but I would love to try my hand at a freaking major film role and see if I can do something ill with it. I would love that. But am I willing to play the game that Hollyweird forces you to play? The game of one-upsmanship, the game of backbiting, the game of, stepping on the next guy to get ahead. No, I ain't willing to do that. I'm not willing to do that. You know what I mean? So
I don't know why. I refuse to believe in the ritual aspect of Hollywood.
Me too, because I think it's stupid.
I would rather believe that everybody that went to that little white party or whatever are just talented, hardworking people that go and do their job, do whatever it is that they do, They do it with consistency and they're good at it, and they get and the work that they put in, they've been compensated for it.
I agree.
It wasn't and you know what I'm saying? They wasn't invited to the party because they do certain things. They accept certain things.
They're willing to take it.
Yeah. I don't know.
But,
and it's like if that is a thing, why are people like afraid to like blow the whistle on like because it's like, all right, I got here because I did this X, Y, and Z. I like I work on my craft, blah, blah, blah. I see this guy over here, though. I know for a fact he don't put in the work that I put in. I'm pretty sure he did some wild shit. But who did it to him and why? And who did it to him and why? And why isn't anybody saying it?
well, think about all the rumors.
Thrown out like this dude on Matt Hoffa's podcast before he did the whole switch. He had somebody on there. I don't know. Look, I don't know if he looked like a Rockefeller artist or something like that. But he was talking about. They talk about all these mansion parties and the things that they do upstairs to certain people, and it's like you saw it, but you didn't accept it. So how'd you get in? How'd you get in the party? How'd you get out of the party?
Think about all the allegations and rumors about Diddy over the years, right? Think about all the allegations and rumors about Diddy over the years. Now, I don't know what Diddy has done. I don't believe he's done anything, but those rumors persist. And I guess they persist for a reason. You know what I mean? And I don't know. That's why I call them allegations and rumors. Because,
he's like the only one we know about.
Right. He's the only one we know about, but why is that?
Scapegoat for weird shit in the industry. But it's not just him. Like it can't be just him. Who is these people? Why? I wonder why everybody's so afraid.
Because if you start to, because I think if you tell the secrets and you tell these things, you'll bring down more than just yourself and that person. Everybody and their mama gonna be linked to that, and it's gonna take away what some perceive as, the celebrity, and it takes that mask off. It strips away the facade and the pageantry of it all. It takes away the pageantry of it to know the truth. The rumors are more than enough, to cast a shadow over it. But if they're unsubstantiated, then who really cares? Who pays that much attention? Somebody is, because it's all they do. Think about the people who buy every issue of Us Weekly or every Entertainment Weekly, or who follow these people's careers. Think about people who become like celebrity stalkers.
Tabloids, the paparazzi, all that shit.
The paparazzi. Like, look at fucking poor Britney Spears. Britney Spears doesn't deserve half of the vilification that she gets, I'm sure. But why does it happen to her? You know what I'm saying? Why? Why are some young ladies put on this pedestal, and then when they branch out and do something different, the pedestal's yanked out from under them and they fall on their ass? You know what I'm saying? For the longest time, Britney Spears, like everybody, she's the girl next door. Everybody loves her. Everybody wants to be Britney. And then all of a sudden, now because she's going crazy, she's shaving her hair, and she's fucking frustrated and angry, and nobody's listening to her. You ever think maybe, just maybe, there's an actual human in there that needs to have her say as well? But no, you have this image you have to protect. You have this image you have to portray. You can't be normal. You can't be crazy. You can't be just a freaking chick from damn Louisiana or wherever the hell she's from. No, you have to be somebody better than that now. When in reality, she's still just a chick from the hood. Let people be people. Yeah, she's look at Salma Hayek, for example, right? Salma Hayek is a fantastic actress, but she seems like such a normal person. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't let the trappings of Hollywood influence how she acts towards people. You know what I'm saying? Keanu Reeves still takes the train to this day. He lives in New York and will take the train with everyday average people. You know what I'm saying? That's a cool thing. You know why? Because it shows that I make all this money. I'm a multimillionaire. I do all this, through all that, but yet I still put my pants on one leg at a time. I'm still just like you. I got to get down to 19th Street just like you, and I'm sitting on this delayed ass train just like you.
Yeah. Just because you're high profile doesn't mean you're above humanity.
Right, and that is something that they don't always like.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to disagree, man. I don't think the sacrifices happen the way people lay it out on these high profile individuals. I don't think that they sacrifice their bodies in weird ways. I think they sacrifice their time. I think they sacrifice their humanity because like you said, with the paparazzi, the tabloids, all the people following you and trying to bleed as much out of you as they can.
Yeah.
For their publication and their monetization, you sacrifice that. You sacrifice your humanity, but to put this like sexually explicit abuse on a high profile individual as a way to say that this is how they got to where they got.
Right.
It wasn't because it's not because they're talented. It's not because they work hard. It's not because they are consistent with their craft. It's because they allowed something weird to happen to them, and this is how it's done. I don't understand why. I don't understand that whole narrative. I refuse to believe that people out here sacrificing themselves in these demonic ways.
As do I, and I think that is a horrible narrative. However, I will say that there's probably some people who are doing something because they're not really talented at all, and yet they still work. So, you know what I'm saying? So maybe something's going on, but I don't know. Like, and I'm not gonna say and call no names, but
I saw an interview with Anna Faris. She did like a scary movie.
I love Anna Faris. I love Anna Faris. I think she's hilarious.
So, like, she didn't think she was talented. She didn't think that she had what she had. She didn't see what Keenen Ivory Wayans saw in her.
Right.
And she didn't understand why she was in this movie. She thought she was a cutout. And it was because he said, you don't know why you're funny. Right. I know why you're funny, but you don't know why you're funny. And that's what's going to pull you through this film and why you're going to keep this job.
That's right.
It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like you didn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Certain things happen for certain people, for, you know what I'm saying? Opportunities happen for certain people for reasons that they don't even understand.
Yeah.
Like it's beyond you. So it's not like somebody could look at her situation and say, well, she did something to get this role in, or she got that role, but in order for her to stay in Hollywood, she's been doing X, Y, and Z.
She's talented, she's funny, and she's fucking, she does well at her craft. Like, I've watched Mom. I've watched almost all of Anna Faris's movies. I've seen her come up. I feel the same way about Kat Dennings and Beth Baer. I love Two Broke Girls. I thought it was a funny show. I've said the same thing about, watching A Different World. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, those were all fantastic actors and actresses. I think people front on Supernatural because Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki aren't great actors. Yes, the fuck they are. You know what I'm saying? They're good actors. You know what I mean? They did their craft really well. So don't sit here and tell me that they're all sacrificing and doing X, Y, Z. When in reality, they like you said, they're just consistent with their craft, and they put effort into their craft. You know what I'm saying? And everything's not going to be a hit. Sometimes it's hit or miss, but that doesn't mean that the person behind it isn't talented.
This is you don't even see.
Huh?
most of the misses, or if not all the misses, you don't even see.
Right. Or I don't know. Maybe I just have a different idea of what a miss is. You know?
I mean, there are thousands of films that get made that never get finished. They just never they for some strange reason it could be the weather that fucked the weather was so bad one day that fucked everything up. And the whole thing just didn't happen. I get that there's the Bill Cosbys and the Harvey Weinsteins out there that take advantage of people, but I don't think that high profile people
are all sacrificing. No, I don't believe that either. But listen, we're gonna wrap this up. Any final thoughts, sir?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, brother. This was actually fun. I like this. Just shooting the shit. I don't get to do this one often enough. But I appreciate you for joining me as ever. You know what I'm saying? So y'all be on the lookout for the next episodes. We got an episode of Agree to Disagree that'll be out within the next couple days, and then we'll have this episode out after that, and then or maybe the same day. I don't know. I haven't figured out how to edit these things sometimes. But it's all coming. Is it raining where you're at? I'm looking at thunder and lightning. Is that what I'm looking at?
Thunder and lightning.
Yeah, you don't see the flashing lights outside? Is that the window you're by right now?
No, that's cars, man.
Oh, okay. I've been seeing mad lights fly. I'm like, yo, is that lightning? What's going on, man? What's going on? All right. Whatever. But for my brother Sean Wallace, I'm, of course, your boy Frank Starfire. If you like what you saw today, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Make sure everybody sees it. If you want to chime in, feel free to do so in the comments, of course. And keep it flowing. You can find this man at...
Oh, I'm on IG, of course, at Mr. Soul 3000.
And I, of course, am at Frank_Starfire, STARFYRE. You know it when you see this handsome ass face. All right. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. Peace, love, hair grease, and all that good stuff. One love, baby. I'll holler at y'all in a minute.
Hi, brother.
Yeah, brother.